Hi everyone, welcome back to IGCSE Business Studies. Today we'll be starting a new topic that is crucial for any business. This topic deals with few of the most important tasks of the Human Resources Department. Today we'll be learning about recruitment, selection, and training. In today's video, we'll be covering the following concepts: recruitment and selection of employees, importance of training and methods of training, why reducing the size of the workforce might be necessary, and legal controls over employment issues as well as their impacts on employers and employees. First, we'll be looking at the recruitment and selection of employees. Before starting, let us first understand what do we even understand by these terms. Among the two, selection is definitely the easier of the terms to understand, which means selecting something. But what does recruitment mean? Recruitment refers to the process from identifying the need of employment to receiving relevant applications to selecting the most suitable candidate for the job. After learning about recruitment, let us look at the recruitment process. Beware guys, there will be a few unknown terms in the recruitment process, but no need to worry, we'll be going through each and every one of them. As per the definition, the process starts with identifying the need for recruitment as vacancy arises. After that are three unknown but crucial steps. First, we have job analysis, where we identify the responsibilities and tasks of the job. Next, we have job description, where we outline the responsibilities that the person who will be employed is expected to do. And lastly, we have job specification, which is a document that outlines the requirements, qualifications, expertise, and characteristics of the specified job. Once these are prepared, we move on to job advertisement. From there, we get a list of applicants among whom we interview and select the most suitable candidate. With that, the vacancy is filled, which marks the end of the recruitment process. Now, let us take a deeper dive into the three terms we briefly discussed while talking about the recruitment process. Do you remember the three terms? That's right, job analysis, job description, and job specification. As discussed, job analysis identifies the responsibilities and tasks of the job. It allows the business to study these details about the vacant job. Once the details about the job has been gathered, a job description is prepared. It is shared with the candidates so that they know exactly what the job expects from them. After that, a job specification is prepared, which is basically a document that outlines the requirements, qualifications, and expertise of the person who will be filling in the job. It helps the business to check if the candidates who applied match with the expectations of the business. List of requirements usually include the level of education qualification, amount of experience and type of experience, special skills, knowledge or particular expertise, and personal characteristics. After these three steps, we have job advertisement, which can be done in two main ways. One internally and another externally. Internal recruitment takes place when a vacancy is filled from inside the organization. There are a number of advantages of recruiting internally, which include the fact that it saves money and time, the person employed is already familiar with the company's culture, and it acts as a motivation for other employees as they are seeing their colleagues get new jobs within the company. External recruitment, on the other hand, refers to the situation where the vacancy is filled by somebody outside the company. There are a couple of advantages of this process as well, like the fact that new employees can bring new ideas and processes into the business. Moreover, internal recruitment could cause jealousy among the colleagues as one is getting a new job while the others are not. But this will not be the case in external recruitment. We have now discussed the advantages of the two methods of recruitment. What about the disadvantages? Think about it, guys. The two are opposite. That means the advantages of one would be the disadvantages of the other. As internal recruitment sees someone being recruited internally, the person would not bring in new ideas and concepts, and there would be a risk of jealousy. As for external recruitment, the new person would not be familiar with the company's ways. It would be an expensive process to recruit, and lastly, it would fail to motivate existing workers as their desire of new job prospects would be filled by an outsider. Now that we know more about external recruitment, let us look at some of the channels used in this form of recruitment. First thing you need to know is that there are several channels to post job advertisements externally. Following are just few of the examples of external recruitment. You can use online portals, local newspapers, national newspapers, magazines and journals, recruitment agencies, and government job centers. As we have just seen the different channels to recruit externally, next we will briefly discuss job advertisement itself. As you can imagine, job advertisement is not an easy job. It is a crucial part of a long recruitment process. After so many steps, if your final job advertisement is not aligned with what your company needs, then all the work that you have done so far goes to vain. That is why it is very important for us to know 3 fundamental questions before drawing up any job advertisement. First of all, what should be included in the advertisement? What content should be used to lure the right applicant? Next, it is important for the company to know where to place the advertisement. Should it be done online or offline? Where would my ideal candidate most likely find this advertisement? And lastly, they need to decide how much will the advertisement cost the company and set a budget accordingly. As for the applicant, it is important to have an appropriate CV once they find the job placement. Their applications must have their names, address, telephone number, date of birth, nationality, education and qualification, work experience, positions of responsibilities, interests, and lastly, names and details of their references. With job advertisement, receiving applicants, and choosing the right candidate, we are done with the recruitment process. Now, let us take a look at the different types of employees whom a company can recruit. There are mainly 2 types of employees that a business can recruit. The first is a full-timer, while the other is a part-timer. The name suggests their nature of work really. A full-timer works 30 or more hours in a week, which means working around 8 hours a day in a 5-day week. They can work more as well, but the bare minimum is 35 hours. Part-timers, on the other hand, work partial hours. They have a flexible routine unlike full-timers and have to put in between 1 to 30 to 35 hours a week. Putting in 1 to 35 hours a week is quite convenient for part-timers. But what are the benefits of hiring a part-timer if they're giving less time than full-timers? To understand the situation better, we need to look at the advantages and disadvantages of employing part-timers holistically. As for the advantages, part-time employment allows a degree of flexibility to the business. They can employ the workers at busy times when they need extra resources. This can allow businesses to employ part-timers on weekends or even after hours so that they can use the same resources like the PCs that full-timers use, but at a time when the full-timers are not at the office. This way, employers won't have to get new PCs for the part-timers as they can use existing resources at off times. Moreover, as they're giving less time, they're paid lower as well, which makes things less expensive. However, the part-timers are less likely to be trained as they're giving little time and won't be there for the long run. If an employee is not staying for the long run, why train them? On top, finding the ideal part-timer is difficult and takes longer to recruit them. The reason is part-timers are committed elsewhere, so finding the right person who would give you the right amount of time is difficult. The next point is linked to what I just said. As they are less committed than full-timers, it makes it difficult to depend or rely on them, making them less likely to be promoted. After this, we will be moving on to the last disadvantage, which talks about the fact that it is very difficult to communicate with them when they're outside of the workplace. This point is connected to their commitment again. Because they have other commitments, when they're out of work, it becomes difficult for employees to contact and communicate with them. With this, we end our discussion on this section.